Hi guys, welcome back. In today's video, we're talking about prepositions, but specifically prepositions of time. We'll talk about when we should choose on, at, or in when we're making a reference to time. Let's begin with the preposition on. We're going to use on to refer to specific dates or days. Some examples of dates are school begins on September 3rd, or can you meet me on the 16th? So these are very specific dates, like calendar dates. So in these cases, we'll always use the preposition on. We also use the preposition on to refer to days. So the very easy and obvious one is the day of the week, like Tuesday. Winter break ends on Tuesday. Or we can also have sentences like this: we're having a party on Independence Day. So a holiday, right? Or we're having dinner on her birthday. So when we talk about days, a lot of people just think of days of the week, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but it can be Independence Day, on Valentine's Day, on Christmas Day, so any holidays, or let's say on her birthday. So days, we're going to also use the preposition on. Now let's talk about the preposition at. We use this word at to refer to a very specific time. When I say specific time, it refers to clock time, but it doesn't always have to refer to a clock time. Let's look at the first example. It says, I'll see you at 3:30. So clearly this is a clock time, and we are going to use at to refer to a very specific time like this. But if you look at the second sentence, it says, I read to my son at bedtime. That is still, even though it's not a clock time, it's not 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, it's still a specific point during the night, so I'm going to use the word at. If you look at the third sentence, it says, we're having lunch at noon. Noon is a very specific time during the day. It's 12 o'clock. Please keep in mind that noon is not the same thing as afternoon, right? Afternoon is literally after noon. So anywhere from past 12 until, before evening, right? So that's a long time. Whereas noon is a very specific time, 12 o'clock, so we're going to use the word at. The last sentence says, the fireworks began at sunset. Again, sunset, even though it's not a clock time, it is a specific time during the day. Therefore, I'm going to use the preposition at. Now let's talk about the preposition in. Generally speaking, when we're talking about time, we use the word in to talk about a more broad or longer periods of time. So for example, we use it when we talk about months, years, or centuries, or seasons, like in the winter, right? Or different parts of the day. We're going to go over each one of these right now. We're going to use the preposition in when we talk about months or years. For example, I was born in October in the 80s. So it's months and years, right? In the beginning, I said that when we are talking about dates, we use on. So on would be a specific date, like October 1st. I was born on October 1st. But because there is no first, I'm not giving you a date, I'm only giving you the month or the year, we would use in instead of on. The second example here says, my house was remodeled in 2015. Again, it's not a specific date, it's just a year, then I'm going to use in. We also use in to refer to seasons of the year. For example, Mary wants to intern in the summer. So again, summer is a long period of time, right? It's a chunk of time. So we're going to use in. Or the ground freezes when in the winter. So just for all four seasons, we're going to use a preposition in. We also use in to talk about most parts of the day. For example, I'll call you in the morning. Morning is a big chunk of your day. The second example says we had tea in the afternoon. Afternoon is also a part of your day. And Mary enjoyed her wine in the evening. So when we're referring to morning, afternoon, or evening, we would use in. But look at the last sentence. He emailed me in the night. When we use the word night, usually we don't use in, we use at. He emailed me at night. I'll call you at night, right? We don't say in with the word night. Before we continue, I just wanted to briefly touch on this before we move on. So like I just said, we say in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening, but we don't say in the night, right? So let's just hold on to that idea. If you look at this side, we say at noon or at midnight. If you remember, we said that we use the word at to refer to a very specific time. So at noon will be 12 p.m. So yeah, it makes sense that I would use at, right? It's a very specific time. It also makes sense that I would say at midnight because that too is a very specific time, right? At midnight. But I wasn't sure why we say at night when night is a duration of time, just like in the evening or in the afternoon or in the morning. And I couldn't think of an explanation for why we have to say at night and why we cannot say in the night. So with this, I think our best bet would be to just memorize, right? Just remember that we don't use the preposition in when we refer to night. Lastly, we would use in to refer to other periods of time. For example, I grew up in the 90s. In the 90s is a period of time. We can also use it for the future or the past. For example, Joe wants to work in the medical industry in the future, right? Or all of that was in the past. So for other vague periods of time, we would use in. Let's finish off this lesson with a very short practice. Please fill in the blanks with in, at, or on, and please pause this video for more time. Okay, let's go over this together. Number 1, my exam is on Wednesday, right? The day we use on. Number 2, all our meetings are in January because that is the month and we use in. Number 3, my grandfather lived in Korea. Again, it's a time period in the 60s. Number 4, my son gets off school at 3:15. That's a very specific time. That's 3:15, right? So we're going to use at. Number 5, the leaves are beautiful season of the year in the fall. Number 6, we had a party on New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve, just like New Year's Day, is a day, right? Like a holiday sort of. So we're going to use on. Number 7, my father was born. Year is in. My father was born in 1959. And number 8, I'll see you on Monday morning. So this last one, you might be confused, right? Do we go with morning, which is like in the morning, or do we go with the day? When we use day, we have to use on, right? Like on Monday. So in a sentence like this, where you have both, you would go with the day. Okay, so you would say, I will see you on Monday morning and not I will see you in Monday morning. That's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found that helpful, and if you did, please like this video and consider subscribing to this channel. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below in the comments section, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I'll see you guys next time.